Okay, good morning, everybody. For Wednesday, 22nd of March, the internet speed has finally come back up again. So low pressure continues to dominate our weather as we've been really on a conveyor belt of Atlantic fronts. And as you can see, it's a low 964 just anchored over not too far south of the Faroe Islands, actually, just to north of Scotland. And with it, it's quite a large area of low pressure, which is why we're sort of a little bit stuck currently. But the good news is this cold front, which you can see at midday today, just straddling the English Channel, that has probably moved a little bit quicker than anticipated 24 hours ago, which does mean we should get some better flying conditions. As you can see overnight, we've had a mixture of fronts go through. It's been pretty windy with those tight isobars, and it will remain fairly breezy too. Going into tomorrow, again, some more fronts overnight. Isobars that just that little bit tighter, indicating that the wind will be stronger, and these black lines indicating troughs. So, yes, it does look still unsettled. There is just the glimmer of hope that next week there might be some higher temperatures, but I must say it's been probably one of the worst springs, at least in my time working for Lasham, which is 7 years and next month. So the winds at height, well, southwesterly, traditional for this sort of direction and weather picture. 25 to 30 knots. Let's stick at 30. It might even go up a little bit at times towards 35. So there'll be a significant wind gradient all the way down. And looking at those temperatures at height, freezing level above 5,000 feet at least, so it won't feel particularly cold. You can see that classic front clearance coming through at the moment, sort of straddling up from Humberside down towards sort of the Jurassic coast. So looks like for those guys at Denby, you'll have a nice day as well. I would say give it a sort of 90 minutes and that'll be nicely to the east of us, and we should have some bright conditions. Doesn't mean cloud won't bubble up. The air is still quite unstable and moist. So it wouldn't surprise me if we do see some in the way of cloud. This is your public forecast for today then. 13 degrees, isn't that warm? Sunshine around lunchtime. And yeah, bits of cloud later today. Looking at the weather, yeah, fairly reasonable. But yeah, breezier tomorrow. Good visibility outside of showers. And I think shower risk is hopefully quite low today. GFS agrees with 11 to 12 degrees and dew points sat around 8. Farnborough currently reporting few clouds at 900 feet, broken at 3,500, showers in vicinity. Looking at the window, I think we've probably got some orographic stuff, which isn't particularly unusual for Lasham. As you can see here, it does talk about the outside chance of a shower. I think that is very outside and scattered at about 1,500 feet. Excuse me. Odium is reporting broken at 700, which I think is more like it. And as you can see in the TAF, this is what we're looking for, the few clouds 1,800, which should appear sometime between 9 and midday. So yes, looks reasonably interesting. It is going to be fairly gusty throughout though. That's going to be probably our main hazard today. Okay, just going through a thermal forecast. Not so good for our area, unfortunately. I think we will see some weak thermals during the lunchtime period, maybe up to 2,500 to 3,000 feet. Better in the middle of the country, where I can see there that cloud bases are likely to be maybe 3,500 to 4,000 feet, but with a fair amount of wind interference mucking up those thermals. And I imagine that there's wave presence up into Denby. So yeah, should be a nice day for those up there. Down with us, it does look like we're going to be just dealing with that lower cloud. So yeah, I'll stick it at 2.5. And if we do get something better, then that's always a pleasant surprise. And yeah, I still think that shower risk is low though. So to sum up, with a fairly brisk southwesterly wind with a improving picture. Airspace wise, well, it does seem like the military is doing a lot of parachuting at the moment. So pretty much everything I'm telling you is either being thrown out the back of an aeroplane or is doing it itself. 31 to start with, that's Abingdon. There is article dropping there today between 12 o'clock and 13:30. So that's RAF Abingdon, or Dalton Barracks as people call it. Bryce Norton has parachuting in the overhead up to 7,600 feet. 36 is Western on the Green active all day with parachuting. And then you've got the Salisbury Plain, which is very busy indeed currently. My advice to you is to not go within the vicinity of it without speaking to Boscombe at the moment, because there is some parachuting going on, as well as danger areas. And the closest danger area being raised at times up to 25,000 feet, generally in the evenings, but just put it this way, all of this area is active. So if you are going out in a motor glider or skimming over the top, you might want to check what the level is at that time. Nothing else particularly of relevance in the NOTAM brief, if you take into account everything like that. Operationally today, we are runway 23, and we'll be landing into wind as well for the majority part. So yeah, launching down towards the southwest, winching off the runway, aero towing off the grass. We have one jet movement. So we've got a jet 2 inbound from Manchester off air test. It's due to leave Manchester at 10 o'clock, between 2 to 3 hours on air test. So once we see it's coming back from the Irish area, which is where it's doing its air test, then we'll know what exactly the time would be. I'm going to throw it out there. 12:15 is the likely time, and obviously the weather needs to be good for them to arrive as well. They'll be landing 27, and a reminder during the jet movement to land 27 also. Other safety notes today. Rigging, first of all, I'm going to start pushing this quite heavily. We know that rigging can be a distracting process if people are trying to talk to you and stuff. The BGA is leading a fairly big campaign at the moment, along with the AAIB and others, to ensure that we are not distracted when rigging, and that we are following a clear checklist, whether it be to use independent control checks, to follow the manual to the letter, not to modify things, and yeah, to make sure that everything is done and that any one of us feels comfortable to check with somebody else, have you rigged your glider sensibly today? So yes, especially those with club aircraft. I know the Discuses do self-rig. You'll be amazed it is potentially possible still to misrig them. But considering what the consequences are of not rigging aircraft successfully, I really strongly urge you to think twice after rigging to make sure you are satisfied that your glider is safe to fly. So yeah, a bit morbid, but as I say, we like to keep everybody safe. Also today with wind gradients, we'll watch how the launches are going. If we start breaking a number of weak links, then we might have to put the baby grobs away. So be sensible. Remember, 1/2 to 2/3 air brake approach with at least 60 knots today. I don't want to see people crawling in over the top of the trees, because it just shows you're not up to it. So yeah, please show me that you've got the skill and aptitude to fly today, because we won't have any hesitation putting you back in a 2-seater if not. So on that stern note, I will see you on the airfield shortly. Bye for now.